My dear friend, today's show captivates me because I have so many themes that I would like to present to you. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. I don't know where to put them in. I don't know where they go. I don't know where they go. I'm not sure. I don't know. It amazes me. And what we have right now is a very simple story. I don't know what the analogy is. Am I trying to peel back the band-aid to see how is the wound healing? How are you doing after 4+ years of this horror show? How are you doing? That's what I want to know. How are you feeling? How are you holding up? How are you? Are you afraid still? Do you know what's going on? You do know that we're winning. The other analogy is the poor dog at the pound or some circus where you open the gate or some condor or some bird you want to release into the wild, but it comes back. It doesn't know. It's afraid. It's, as we say in the kitchen, a scared. It's a scared of a time and it doesn't know what to do. Can I say anything? We don't even know what we can say. Can we talk about that? Is it okay? You're talking about vaccines. Is it okay? I don't know. Are they gone? Another analogy. It's like people have taken us hostage. They've taken us hostage. And they said, don't move or don't, dup or we'll do you in. And we wait. Are they still there? Yeah. Can we get up? I don't know. I'm not sure. Well, they told us not to move. Yeah, but I think it's okay now. I'm not sure. I think it's okay. Are you sure? Yeah, I think it's I don't know. I don't know what the analogy is. I have no idea. I'm looking at things on Twitter. I'm thinking, can we talk about that? Can we say that? We have been through a concomitant, well, kind of a duality. Number one, we have been crushed by virtue of this, at least I can just speak for me. My psychic wherewithal was just destroyed. I gave up on this country. I said, we're never going to win. We're never going to win. We're not going to win. We have to, the force that is required to get these people out, we simply don't have it. We don't have that ability. We don't have the firepower, And then Trump. And then I realized, wow, we are going to win. We are going to win. Look at this. Dagmar says, I like this. What a beautiful name, Dagmar. What a great name. Leininger. Still scared. You know what? Still scared. It's also trepidatious. When you are dealing with animals who have themselves been at the pound or have been abused, they don't know what to do or to say or how to act. They're worried. And you walk in and you don't want to overwhelm them. Pick them up. And, you just want to say, it's okay. It's all right. It's okay. Horse whisperers will walk into the paddock or whatever you want to call it, into the, I don't know, whatever the name is. And they will turn their back on the horse. And the horse remembers that from its mother. And the horse will come around and you're like, you looking at me? Why aren't you looking at me? And again, all of these to try to acclimate. We're doing two things. Number one, to acclimate ourselves to the show. By the way, Mickey, gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Mickey Mo. You're a beaut. We don't know what to do. We're not really sure. And we don't even know what winning is. You don't even know what winning is. You're not even used to this yet. This is bigger than anything. So we're going to talk about that. We got some great stories. I have one of the funniest stories coming up about a disaster, and I hope you saw it. I hope you saw my piece. I hope you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. My masterpiece called Poomageddon, from the bowels of hell. A 14-hour flight from Chicago to Delhi. They had to turn around because all 11 toilets, 11 out of 12 toilets, were clogged with, oh yeah, yep, stinkorama, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. We'll talk about that. Also, congratulations. Twitter picked up on this. My good friend Anthony Cumia. I read this. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. He's controversial. And what exactly? Talk about that. USAID is Trump. So many stories. But first, I ask you, my friends, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. Do you know that like 80-something% of the people watching us are never subscribed? I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. But before we begin, this incredibly critical word. Listen to me. Are you drowning in debt? You're not alone. New reports show the average person is buried under $8,674 in credit card debt, with total consumer debt soaring to a staggering $104,215, including mortgages, auto loans, student loans, and credit cards. It's a financial crisis, and without a real solution, many will keep spiraling deeper. That's why I want to introduce you to a powerful secret weapon that has helped so many regain control. They specialize in consolidating all your debts into one manageable monthly payment, and even negotiate a settlement so that you can pay less than you actually owe. Think about this. They've already settled over $275 million in debt. Think about that. Helping people break free in an average of just 28 months. I've personally recommended their services to friends and clients who needed a way out, and now I'm bringing it straight to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. So don't wait. Book a free consultation today, right now, at nodebtwithlionel.com. That's nodebtwithlionel.com. The link is right under the title here. It's time to take back control of your finances. Act now. Get out of debt and start living the life you deserve. My friends, let's start off with a story, which I want to get you just right away because I think it's just the most important, at least to me, because I know him and I think he's a hell of a guy. And he's just, I'm just so doggone glad to know him. And I frankly don't know a lot of people in radio, whatever's left of radio. And I don't know the people who are in it, but his name is Anthony Cumia. And Anthony Cumia was mentioned today on Twitter, or X, I should say. And it's very, very good. He's doing a local radio show here in New York. My alma mater, WABC's on Sunday nights. And I'm hearing this Anthony Cumia latest controversy, free speech or reckless rhetoric. What did he say? What the hell did he say? Veteran broadcaster Anthony Cumia has once again found himself at the center of controversy. What did he say? After comments made during his latest show reignited debate over free speech, political correctness, and cancel culture. Huh? Today? Did you see Bernie Sanders' event where this guy's talking about an Anthony Cumia? What? Anthony Cumia, known for his unapologetic, often incendiary takes on social and political issues, faced a backlash over remarks that critics have called inflammatory. What? What'd he say? I don't get it. Supporters argue that he's simply refusing to bow to modern censorship, while detractors claim his rhetoric contributes to a culture of divisiveness. As social media explodes with the reaction, the incident underscores a broader cultural clash over the limits of free speech in an era where digital platforms wield immense power over public disclosure. I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. First of all, we need it. We need whatever it is, you need it. And there's this thing. There's these old people. Have you ever talked to people to say, well, I don't, I like a nice book. Here's Trey Valor, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Valor, or Trey as I call him. Thank you so much. I like a nice book. I like to crack the spine of the book. I like the smell of what is this? I don't know. Give me a nice radio. Give me a nice radio. I grew up with WABC. Had it in a transistor under my pillow. Yep. WABC. All Beatles here. What is it, 70 years ago? It doesn't matter. That's my radio. Okay, great. Well, my TV, we had a sound pattern and an Indian, and we went off at 11 o'clock. We didn't have late night TV. What? Well, I wasn't into that newfangled cable stuff. What? I was listening to, and I'm fascinated, I don't know why, by this interview. I don't know if you heard him, with Bill Murray and Joe Rogan. And Bill Murray is so ordinary. You ask yourself, how in the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, Mickey Mo's out of his mind. 10 more Lionel Nation memberships. Mickey, thank you, buddy boy. Or gal, I guess could be. So I was listening to him, and I can't figure out if but during the course of this, he says, Joe Rogan says, so you don't, I didn't know Rogan was from New Jersey. I didn't know anything about him. Bill Burr said, where you from? Oh, your stepdad, and he went to college. I didn't know. I didn't know. Anyway, so Bill Murray said, well, I don't have it's almost, well, you got to have a phone with text. If you got kids, he goes, my AOL, he goes, on my email, I got AOL. I don't want to. Okay. That annoys the hell out of me, all right? But there are these people out there who love to talk about, well, vinyl is, okay, great. Thank you very much. The same thing goes, the same thing happens, the same thing is being said. The same thing happens for radio. And somewhere along the line, these people, these self-styled people said, radio sounds like this. And you have this guy, and this announcer, WABC, we had Johnny Donovan. Oh my God, a genius with his voice. Jeff Lawrence, a voice, you hear him now. The most incredible, and a sick, evil genius with a voice you cannot believe. If you heard him, somebody would say, people used to say, are you on radio? People today don't know what radio means. Because it's not that voice. And it's not, all right now we'll return. By the way, if you want to be, our radio is going to be the talents, it's going to be coming up at the Frankie Valley at the President's Dome. Call right now, be caller number 10. What is this? It's museum. 8 after the hour, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up right now, news, traffic, weather. Let's go to Danita Splitkin, live on the Janita. That's right, Dave. What is this? It's horrible. It's a relic. It doesn't matter. It's old. It's about your weird twisted. So Anthony comes along, and I didn't hear it, but I'm just assuming he's as good as he always is. He just breaks the mold. And when he talks about things which are deadly and dirty and racially charged, good. If you don't like it, turn it off. I'm going to say one thing to you right now. You do realize what you're seeing right now. It's just, the stars today, the people, are they really? Do you think that Joe Rogan is a radio guy? No. Dinesh D'Souza, our good friend. Tim Pool. I'm just trying to think of a name. Somebody who's big. Patrick Bet-David? Radio? No. It's substance. There was a time in this country, my friends, when Rush Limbaugh was the biggest thing in the world. People said, Rush, that's not radio. What is he talking about, spewing this right-wing crap? You can't do that. There's always somebody out there who says, don't you know, by gum, this is radio. You need a radio guy doing it. Radio is dead. And what you should do is very simple. Take all of the people out there and put them on. If you want a radio station to work, take somebody, ask a Sticks, or I don't know if he can do it, but he curses, but give somebody who's not contaminated by radio. There's a fellow who's on YouTube. You hear him. He's the last of the pukers. Pukers, as you know, it's an enduring term. I think it is. There's a guy who talk like that. There's a guy named Joe Pags. Have you heard him? He's a puker. He's but in a good way. He's like a 70s boss jock. That's over with. It's done. Today is, what are you going to talk about? And what are you going to say? If you went and you said, hey, listen, program director, I'm going to talk to a guest for 3 hours on the pyramids. They say, are you out of your mind? First of all, we like the 3 hours because we got to do commercials, but no, you got to change the topic. Smooth it along. Smooth it along. I remember one time somebody told me to move it along, and I grabbed myself and said, move this along. It really did not go very well, because I had just total contempt for these idiots who believed in a world of almost like standing like Rudy Valley, high atop the Hotel Fontainebleau. It's a music of the Dick Tremaine and the Mountaineers singing. Your red dress matches your eyes. It's like, where are you? What are you, Rudy Valley next with a megaphone? What are you talking about? Move it along. Anyway, so what I'm trying to tell you is that, number one, I just have to say this because this was number one in my X listing today of the news stories. Cumia is a genius. Absolutely. He was great. The people who he hung around, I never heard Opie and Anthony one time ever when they were in the air. I heard them afterwards, like on YouTube or something, when they did something wrong or when they were arrested or whatever the hell. The people he had on with him, never liked him. It's not me. Childish. He's so good. He's one of the few people I can tell you, he's so smart. So good for them. And do me a favor. If you don't like him, don't like me, don't like anybody, just don't listen to them. But stop talking about how everybody's got to walk on pins and needles. Oh, we gotta be careful. Is he racist? Don't listen to him. Instead of saying, hey, listen, he made a black joke, just say, don't listen to him. But they don't do that. They always want to say, ooh, you did this. They're like the school marm type. Okay, that's that. I want to also tell you, which is a very, very important issue too, where this thing about human nature, okay? Human nature loves stories that sometimes we as children laugh about. We laugh about these stories because they make us laugh. And I did a story. I'm going to talk to you about it. And please watch it. I put the link there. Poomageddon. A flight into the bowels of madness. This is a story which is so good, so wonderful. And the reason why is because it harkens back to this preternatural, atavistic, childish humor that we have about poop, farts, and things like that. Sorry, it's true. And you can pretend it's not true. It's true. Let me tell you something. I've gotten more joy out of this than you could ever imagine. People go crazy. I don't care where you are, what country, or you. I could start. You could, if you had one of these very serious peace negotiations with between two countries, India and Pakistan, and you said, it is the position of the United States, pardon me, they would crack up, they would walk out, they'd laugh because of this. But in this particular story, I want you to think about this. I want you to close your mind, because I hate travel. I hate airports. I hate going there, even picking somebody up. I hate planes. I hate everything about airlines. I hate them. I hate. It's like, get me off. Get me out of here. These fat people with their pajamas and their feet and eating all the, oh, God. But it was supposed to be a routine flight. Isn't it a good story? Oh, wait, what's that guy? Keith Morrison? Well, it was supposed to be. I can't do it. A simple 14-hour jaunt, a hop, skip, and a jump. 14 hours? Kill me instead. No. 14 hours? What? And there are planes who can't even take, they can't even land at D.C. without, and you're going to put 14 hours? But it was a mere jaunt, a hop, skip, and a jump across the Atlantic from Chicago to Delhi. But what the passengers of Air India Flight 126, you give that number, Flight 126, a flight from hell. What they received instead was a first-class ticket to Palookaville, ladies and gentlemen. The most horrible, unspeakable horror you could imagine. A plane with no toilets, no functioning toilets. 12 of them gone. No, 11 gone. 12 toilets? 12? What is this? What is this, a C-130? The nightmare began somewhere over Greenland, when a sinister truth apparently began to fester in the bowels of the aircraft. Do you hear me? Something was clogging the toilets. Something. The passengers, totally, completely, absolutely, blissfully unaware of what lay ahead, continuing their journey through the friendly skies, sipping on their seltzer or their microwave heated, whatever it is, enjoying the latest, perhaps Bollywood blockbuster, I don't know. But deep in the mechanical heart of the plane, a dark and sinister force was rising, ladies and gentlemen. The toilet terror begins. Robert Klein does it. I can't do it, but it's a theremin. We need this. You see, my friends, at first it was a minor inconvenience. It was a single toilet out of order. Okay, no big deal. A small warning from the plumbing gods. Hey, what are you going to do? Nothing. No biggie. But then, like an avalanche, a cavalcade, a concatenation of doom. The malfunction spread like a contagion, consuming toilet after toilet in its path. Ladies and gentlemen, by the time the crew realized the storm, the full scale of the disaster, 11 out of 12 toilets were gone. 11 out of 12? How many are there? Dear God. Isn't that an amazing story? Doesn't that just do something? 11 out of 12. Tell me there's no God. Tell me this isn't fair. Tell me somewhere, forget the flood, the Diluvian period. What hath God wrought? Indian plane, I'm not going to go into this food, but just imagine. I mean, this is serious. Turlets? No turlets? Ladies and gentlemen, the John, the WC, the can, the head, the little boy's room, call it what you want. This is the most horrible thing anybody can even imagine. And you sit there laughing. You think, okay, whatever, because you're kind of imagining this. 11 out of 12 toilets gone, swallowed by the unspeakable horrors of aviation plumbing failure. There's over 300 passengers. A single moment, a singular unholy reality set in. There was but one turlet left. One commode, one WC, one potty, one loo, one. And guess where it was? In business class. Business. Panic at 30,000 feet or 40,000. I'm not even sure. Who knows? What followed, ladies and gentlemen, can only be described as a psychological experiment designed by Satan himself, or maybe Lady Gaga. I'm not sure. The optimal, the incredible realization incoming that hundreds of caffeine-fueled, samosa-stuffed passengers are now competing for a single bathroom sent shivers down the spines and elsewhere of even the most seasoned of travelers. You see, it all began as a twisted dream. It began with, as you know, silent desperation. Nervous glances, crossed legs, and whispered prayers to deities you've never heard of across cultures far and wide. The more brazen souls attempted to bargain with the flight attendants themselves, offering frequent flyer miles, jewelry, and even their firstborns. Oh yeah, it got out of control. All for a chance at the sacred stall to relieve oneself. And you're thinking, you don't understand. I'm either going to do it there or I'm going to do it here. Then came the chaos. People formed unsanctioned alliances, cutting deals, making deals, promising to hold spots in line for exchange for favors. Imagine this. One brave soul, and this is I think fashioned a diaper out of a duty-free shopping bag. I don't know what the hell that was about, but he vowed to fight nature's call until the landing. But if he had to, get ready, my friend. Brace for impact. Fire one. Fire in the hole. Hit the deck. We're talking Dresden, Hiroshima, baby. The bomb heard round the world. And the most desperate passengers descended into what appeared to be complete and total madness, pacing the aisles, clutching their stomachs, bent over, chanting to themselves like some kind of prisoner of some airborne purgatory. It was horrible. It was the return to hell. And as the very situation grew dire, as it got out of control, the brave, and imagine the flight crew, was left with one impossible task: turn back or risk a midair catastrophic sanitation Poomageddon. I don't mean to make light of this by conflating and truncating these particular words, but it's true. Some fought against the order. Some fought against the will. Some were pleading with the pilots, please, to push forward. No, please, persevere. Don't let us down. Let us brave the storm of discomfort and intestinal in extremis. But in the end, no. Safety protocols took priority. The order was given. The words they never thought they would hear: return to Chicago. Sweet home, Chicago, but not for them. For the next 5 hours. What was that again? 5 hours. 5. I think I made that clear. The aircraft was no longer a means of transportation, but in essence, a chamber of torture, a chamber of suffering, a chamber of horror, a flying fortress of doom, of pain, of just the most excruciating of horrors, where relief was but a dream, and the passage of time, ladies and gentlemen, stretched into an agonizing eternity. Do you understand what's happening? Imagine this case doing closing arguments like this. That was the engines roared and the plane reversed course. Ladies and gentlemen, the passengers let out wails and howls and hoots of despair. The baleful cries, the howls, dear God, make it stop, realizing they had endured 5 hours of travel only, listen to me, only to go back to where they started. Do you understand this? Only to go back to where it started. It was a flight to nowhere. It was it was a loop of misery and despair. It was horrid. Like, who was it? Ted Stevens, A Bridge to Nowhere? It was a flight to nowhere. A purgatorial Hades, like, I know this oxymoronic, but a holding pattern where relief remained tantalizingly out of reach. And then the most beautiful concept anybody ever thought of, the landing. As Flight 126 finally, dear friends, finally touched down at O'Hare International Airport. That's right. And that's one sound that this was not funny then. Passengers, and I bet you there was probably one person who slept the whole time and never knew anything. Anyway. As it touched down at O'Hare Airport, passengers poured, flew, ran, it was almost like I guess the best word would be, it was like a stampede of humanity on the tarmac. Some collapsing in exhaustion, some kissing the ground before, another thing. Others sprinting to the nearest restroom, like soldiers storming the beaches of Normandy. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle was over, but the scars and the horror remained. Their eyes glazed over in horror. Imagine being in that gate when these people come in. And who was it who said, where is it? There's no gate. What is this gate? Hands trembled as they gripped luggage handles. The smell of in-flight desperation and fear lingered. It hung in their souls. Air India issued a statement referring to the incident, ready for this, as, quote, a technical difficulty. Or excuse me, a technical issue. This is a phrase that is so profoundly inadequate and woefully inadequate that it might as well have been, kind of a joke. It's the understatement of understatements. Meanwhile, dear friends, passengers attempted to rebuild their shattered lives, demanding refunds and trying to make sense of the horror they had endured. And imagine, we don't know people who did not make it. We don't know. We don't know if somebody tried, and what do you do? Remember that famous case? I'm not going to go to it now, but it was this. I'm not going to mention his name. It's been a long time, but we talked about it. Speaking of WABC in the morning, he stood on top of a luggage cart and anyway, one traveler that was reported whose cousin had missed their wedding in India due to this debacle described their experience as a never-ending fever dream of despair and bad airline food. That is a quote. I mean, that is good. And what about the aftermath? What about now? Questions remain, ladies and gentlemen. What caused this catastrophic plumbing failure? Was it the samosas? Was it a hidden conspiracy? The revenge of a vengeful toilet deity? Some Beelzebub, some Gaga like from the demi-monde, somebody? Some ghoul? Somebody, a demon, perhaps, maybe? Angered by excessive seat recliners? I don't know. Who knows? And more terrifyingly, could it happen again? You better believe it could happen again. You better believe it. And something tells me that, well, you know the rule. Whenever you hear about it once, it happens again. This was not just a flight delay. This was not just a problem. This was Poo-mageddon, ladies and gentlemen. Poo-mageddon. And no traveler, nobody ever will be the same again. I hope that I have brought you closer to this. I hope you're able to appreciate this. I hope you're able to say, you know what? Thank you. Thank you for things are not as bad as I thought. You're right about that. Things are not as bad. But imagine the horror, ladies and gentlemen. Think about the horror. And speaking of other horrors, where would you be if for some reason stores closed because of weather, God knows what, delays, supply chain errors, terror? I don't know. What would you do if food wasn't there? Listen up, patriots. Just because Donald Trump is back doesn't mean the chaos is over. The world is on edge. Listen carefully. Weather disasters, supply chain failures, labor strikes, economic sabotage. And let's not forget, the radical left is in full meltdown mode. They're not used to losing, and desperate people do desperate things. Capiche? So listen carefully. What happens when the food trucks stop rolling, when grocery store shelves go empty, when power outages leave you in the dark with nothing? You must act now. Prepare. Go to preparewithlionel.com and save $100 on the 3-month emergency food supply. Delicious, nutrient-packed meals that last 25 years. This is not an MRE. This is the world's premier survival food, except no substitutes. If you don't prepare now, you'll regret it. Once disaster strikes, the FEMA lines will be miles long. Will you be standing in them, or will you be safe, ready, and in control? Time is running out. Supplies are vanishing fast. So go to preparewithlionel.com now before it's too late. My friends, I love those stories. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been on a road trip from hell? Have you ever had that happen? It's so wonderful. It is something that is incredible. Very, very, very serious. I don't even know where to start. We have other stories for you, for your edification, perusal, and review. Ladies and germs, so glad you could be here. So glad. I made a few notations of what to bring to your attention. Pumageddon, yeah, you'll be thinking about that one. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? Bernie Sanders rally erupts in a debate over lyrics. Now, I don't want to go through the specifics of this because they're horrid. What was meant to be a routine campaign rally, you saw this, right? Senator Bernie Sanders in New Hampshire turned into an unexpected flashpoint or something for a political and cultural debate after one musical guest's lyrics ignited the controversy with horrible, filthy, disgusting, phallic references and paraphilic. And there was a woman singing, doing the sign language. I mean, it was wild. This artist whose themes, anyway. Did you see that one? See that for yourself. It was disgusting. It was disgusting. It goes to show you these people just don't get it, ladies and gentlemen. They don't get it. There's another story, too, which is the most important story of them all. I don't think anybody truly, truly gets it. This is the most important. USAID, 83% of contracts were canceled in a major shakeup by Marco Rubio. And a sweeping realignment, ladies and gentlemen, of U.S. foreign aid. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced the cancellation of 83% of U.S. AID programs. You understand what that means? Terminating 5,200 contracts following a 6-week policy review. And the restructuring, as they say, seeks to prioritize U.S. national interest. Now, again, this shifts the oversight of the remaining 1,000 contracts to the State Department. This dramatic shift, this incredible shift, impacts global humanitarian efforts, but it also aids to nations and everything else. Let me explain to you why this is important. First, people are going to suggest to you that there were other people who were harmed by it, and no doubt there are some programs that are going to suffer from it. No doubt, without a doubt, no doubt, and that happens, and it's nothing to be taken lightly. However, if you were to take the pain, the inconvenience, and the problem of one, let's just take one particular program being canceled, which of course you do not want to in any way dismiss. Compare that to the thousands of programs and the like caused by and funded by these people. Let me bring you up to speed on something. Listen to me carefully. This is very important. There's all these mafia shows, the LCN, the Life, all this kind of stuff. If I or anybody, if you want to make organized crime go away, you take away from it its ability to make money. That's what you do. Do you know what I'm saying? You take away the ability to make money. You take away loan shark. You take away prostitution. Whatever they do, drugs, this and that, labor, you get rid of it. Now, here's the story. And this is critical. What is so fascinating to me about this whole event is that the people who were involved in it would not say, oh, no, we're still staying in the organization, in the family, I'm in the Bonanos or whatever, because, oh, no, this has nothing to do with crime. This is about an Italian-American tradition, the Borgata, the Capo regime, the Capo regime. No. They would say, no, the hell with it. I'm only here because of the money. I'm not here because of some medieval, feudal, whatever. No. I'm here for them. I'm here for the scarol. You know what I mean? That's what I'm here for, not this. So when you remove that, now let me tell you something. Listen to me carefully. One day, I think I told you this. It's like finding out that a fuse controls everything. And then one day somebody says, hey, whatever happened to MSM and DNC? Oh, you didn't hear? Yeah. AID, what? They were on the bandwagon. Yeah, they were getting money through this, and this. A climate, people did this. There was an experimental program. It was never even looked at. You're saying AID? Yeah, funded. MSDNC, Politico, New York Times, 60 Minutes, Rob Reiner, De Niro. Yeah. Now I'm saying I wouldn't be surprised. They don't follow money trails like this, but do not be surprised that happened. This was the money part. People made money. Let me tell you who was completely full of shite. Soros. How much do you want to bet Soros never paid a penny for these $50 million for these prosecutors? And I'll bet you anything that the money came from, let's just call it the USAID, whatever the shadow government is. And he just takes it. He liked, being the big shot. He liked it. That's what he liked. He thought it'd be terrific. What about years ago? Remember when junk yogurt, who was it? Was it Katzenbaum? Not Katzenbaum. Katzenberg, or whatever his name is. The people who promoted this left-wing Huffington Post and all that kind of stuff. Where do you think that came from? John Podesta. Oh, John Podesta. Can we talk about John Podesta? You know about John Podesta, right? Oh, yeah, you know. Remember the email? Remember the emails? Can we talk about that yet? I don't know. Can we? Are we safe to come out of the cage? Can we talk about that? Can we? You know about that? Yeah. Remember the insurance policy? They talk about insurance policies a lot. They use that, don't they? In any event, you're going to find out that all of that was promoted and funded by this. It's over with now. This taproot, this group, this network, like this mushroom network. Have you ever seen this? These wonderful the mycelial networks. This is an underground network of fungal threads, mycelium, that connects plants and trees and facility. It's the most incredible for miles and miles. It's also known as the mycorrhizal network, or the fungi hypha. It's a wood wide web, so to speak. It's this incredible. That's what this is. It's a mycelium, fungal thread. That's exactly what this is. It's an incredible story. And you're going to find out, believe it or not, after all these years, this was gone. This was gone. This way for them to enjoy this is gone. By the way, I hope you got today's email or newsletter from regarding this is about the CIA document 1035-960. Did you see that one? That was a good one. That went out this morning. Did you see that one? That's one you want to keep for yourself. That's the one you want to keep around your things. In any event, let's go back to what we're talking about. Why this is important. Now let's back up a little bit. This is something that most people can't understand. They'll never understand it. So don't even bother trying to explain it to them. And the reason is simple. There is a level here. We talk about things like shadow government, deep state. They don't know what you're talking about. They really don't know what you're talking about. They have no idea. None whatsoever. They think you're some kind of a nut. They think you're some kind of a conspiracy theorist or I don't know, something. It's the most important thing in the world. They don't get it. And remember one thing, and listen carefully. I'm going to give you the best bit of advice I can possibly give you. We don't care what they think. Don't worry what they think. Just move on with your life and be happy. Don't worry about this. Mickey Mo, my God, Mickey Mo gifting 50 memberships. Mickey, you're an animal. Thank you so much. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you. This is something that, again, let me go back a little bit. Every rule, even if Rush Limbaugh were here, he'd say, I don't think this, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Rush, it's the USAID. Yeah, what about, I heard about that. What about it? No, Rush, that's where the money went. What? Rush, that's where the money was. That's where the money was. Remember the old days when the mob involved themselves and they took over organized crime, specifically unions, and you found out that the Teamsters was owned pretty much by the mob. And their Teamsters, the pension fund, it was all mob. They got into there. This is what we're doing right now. This is so huge. They don't even know. They don't. They haven't figured this out. They haven't figured. You're still doing this trans business. But one day they're going to say, you don't understand. It's not here anymore. What? We never had anything. What do you mean? We never had anything. Well, I'm going to go work for Politico. There is no Politico. We were Politico. We did that. Remember, not New American Century, it's American. Again, it was a Podesta thing. All these think tanks. Remember these think tanks? You know what they were. It's gone. It is so, everything has changed drastically. This is so bad. So let me just tell you this, and this is difficult for a lot of people to understand. If you're tired of winning, too bad. Trump's path to glory is clear. Here's what you need to know. This is a multi-stratified, multi-tiered, multi-planned focus to change everything. Everything, I tell you. Everything. This country is never going to be the same. Remember those radio people I told you about? Remember those radio people? There are people who still think radio's from, Cousin Brucey or something. I don't know. And by the way, I like this. JTE says, I hope you join Kumia on it. No, you're not going to be seeing that. But anyway, what's very interesting to note is that these are people who don't understand the new process here. You see, I'm looking at the Republican Party and saying, what are you doing? CPAC. What are you wasting your time on CPAC? You just want to raise money? Or waste money, I was going to say. Want to raise money? Okay, I understand. Because nobody gives a shit about this. Nobody. Is that what you want to do? CPAC? Go back to the Amish. Go back to the black barbershops in the Bronx. Go back to the Latinos. Go back to the gay. Go back. This is the Republican Party, or whatever you want to call it, has nothing to do with CPAC. They don't care about Ronald Reagan, and they're not into this thing. there were aspects to the Republican world. There was the Rush Limbaugh, God bless him, but he was from a different generation. Ronald Reagan, you know, it was more of a, dare I say, a more formulaic. Bush 41, you know what I mean? Okay. Republicans and then Democrats. Democrats were anti-war, progressive. Now they've been lost to these lunatic. They're different people altogether. And what we need to do is, do you know who our person is today? Not CPAC, Joe Rogan. Give me somebody for Joe Rogan to say it's cool to be a Republican. Why? Because there's no place else. These people, every 2 weeks, they have this thing where they say, we're eating raw meat now. We are? Why? Joe Rogan said it. Joe, you're eating raw meat? Yeah. Joe, just meat? That's it. Okay. That's all you're eating? That's all. Okay. Why? Joe Rogan said it. Okay. Oh, and no seed oils. What's wrong with seed oils? Joe Rogan said no seed oils. Who else said that? Bobby Kennedy. Oh, Bobby Kennedy, yeah. And he's using beef tallow instead, and you're happy about that. Beef fat? You're frying thing. This is good for you? Okay, why? Joe Rogan said it. Joe Rogan could tell people cut off your fingers with a knife. The Yakuza, people would do it. And you're wasting your time with CPAC. Stick with Joe Rogan. Stick with the people out there. Stick with the people out there who need to be culled. Where's Cat Williams? Pull him in. Bring in people. There is a wonderful group. I'm sorry, and please don't take this the wrong way, but there's a wonderful group that I love, and it is a particular faction of African American types who love conspiracies. They know about the Tuskegee experiment. They know about racism. They know about slavery. They know about this. They know about that. They know about how everything from CIA and dope and whatever. They are so perfect. Many of them also are into, please forgive me, a lot of other people too, voodoo, Santeria. Now, wait a minute. I'm not talking about black people, but there are some Caribbean people, and there are the people, the Cubans, and others who believe in Santeria, brujeria, black magic, potions. They're into this. So when I tell them, you know, there's this thing where they're going, oh, I believe it. You know, there's mind control. Oh, I know, I believe it. Brainwashing. Oh, I believe it. They're so perfect. And instead, what are you doing? You're going to CPAC. With all due respect to CPAC, they're nice people, but to get away from them. You've already won them. Go over here. Go over here. What are you doing? If I owned a radio station, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say, give me somebody who has a regular show, who has a built-in 20 million person audience, and I'm going to say, you're going to do this over here. And what I want you to do is don't lose my license. That's all I want to do. You can promote yourself. You can do whatever you want, but please just bring all your people over here. That's it. If I were Joe Rogan, for the hell of it, because I still love radio at heart, I would go to a little mountaintop Christian station somewhere in the Smokies or somewhere near Gatlinburg, or I don't know. And all of a sudden we say, Joe Rogan's doing a show. What? At this 51, number one. And I would say, Joe, don't lose the license. If you can watch the F word. But no, that's not what they do. What they do is they pick up their phone and they call somebody, and they'll go to an agent, a radio agent who is, you know, recycling this stuff. And they'll get some guy on who says, I don't know what's going on with this. You know, this is the craziest. They got this guy here, he's Eric Adams, and he basically declares New York a sanctuary city. And then later on decides, after they indict him, he changes his mind. Well, more coming up right now on KQID. KQID time is 10:15. Oh, you hear that? And there are people who say, that's fantastic. Did you hear the formatics? Now that's a radio guy. He hit the post. He got his, came in, came out, set it up, did this, did all the formatics, all the Oh my God, it was fantastic. What a pro. That's a pro. He's boring as shit. I don't care, but hear what he said. And those pipes. Oh, I love this. It reminds me of a weird way of they'll never get it. Well, that's not the radio I grew up with. That's not. So anyway, what we're doing right now, what you're seeing, there are people who are putting out some of the best stuff ever. And also, let me tell you something. If you want to find out, if you are interested, if you have any interest whatsoever in what's going on in the Middle East, do not listen to any AM radio station. Do not listen to Fox News. Do not listen to any radio station in the United States on any system network in the United States. You will never hear. I know what you're going to hear, but you will not be hearing any two sides to. There is no two sides regarding Israel, Palestine, Gaza, Iran. Never. Listen to, where would you go for that? Now let's see. Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson actually destroying the Iran narrative. Oh, dear God, how did he do that? Oh, my God. Don't you understand that Iran sponsors, I know, sponsors all of the terrorism in the world. Terrorism? Is that what you think it is? Do you think, you say, come here, hi, how are you? Yes, what are you? I'm from Hamas, or I'm from Hezbollah. Are you a terrorist? Am I a what? Are you a terrorist? A terrorist? No, they're terrorists. Oh, no. Excuse me. You have, no, they're a country. They're a state, whether you're a, what? See, nobody ever understands. Nobody will ever understand. So let me just stop right there because I'm wasting my time. Because if you think that people are going to get this, you don't. I've got friends of mine who they try to lure me and say, oh, what do you think about what's going on there? I say, it's very complicated. I just hope one day that there's peace. That's it. I just move along because they're not going to they don't understand this. Remember when General Giap, you know who General Giap was during Vietnam? General Giap was one of the greatest generals ever. It was NVA, Vietnam. And he basically talked about pulling by the belt. He was the greatest military. You can't say that. You can say it now. Why? Do you know why they fought us? Because we were there. I never understood Vietnam. We should go there and win. Win what? Win. What do you mean win? Win. It's their country. You violated them. Don't you understand? They're evil people. No. When you go to a group of people and you surround them or you cut them off or you say you can't go here or there. Hey, Vietnam, sorry about that. You can't. You know what they do? They say, well, we'll see about that. And they live there. And they know the street corners and they know the vendors and they know everybody. It's like in the streets of New York during the 20s and 30s, during the Morello group, when the cops were after them, they knew how to go into houses, and the Chinese too. They still have all this underground stuff in New York. I mean, nobody really, we have this third grade mentality. So what I'm saying is, if you think you're going to hear that on TV, forget it. No. If you think if I'll give a lot of people a list, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Just talk about just how great Trump is and have a nice day. So my friends, what a day it has been. I want to thank Mickey Mo. Mickey Mo, you have been so fantastic. 50, 60, 70 Lionel Nation memberships. Dear God, thank you so much. JTE and Troy Velour, ladies and gentlemen. Troy Velour. This is something. My friends, remember what we're going to do. We're just going to be who we are. And if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, what are you going to do? Chris Cox is back, and he's loaded for bear. Chris Cox says, how did Canadian PM Carney win? 300,000 people signed up to vote. Only 150,000 were allowed to vote. Ghislaine Maxwell's friend, wonder what he knows. Interesting. And they are shown together. Isn't that interesting? Mickey Mo says, 1,000 likes in 15 minutes. 50 more free memberships by 7:15. Folk gifting to work. Go. Thank you. Look at that. Thank you so much. Unbelievable. You are just, I don't even deserve you. I don't deserve you in your friendship. Thank you. You are beauteous. Now, you do know that Ghislaine Maxwell, you do know, and I feel very, very sorry, that Pam Bondi, who was a great person, and Kash Patel, I don't think they had any idea of what we know and what we thought about that. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. You understand that? Look at this. I like this. Night Owl says, thank for to all the nice. Couldn't have said that better myself. And I agree 100%. Not really sure. Not really sure. Look at this. Dominion voting machines. Don't say that. Don't say that. We can't say that. Have you noticed what people are saying right now? It's fantastic. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you. I wish you nothing but the best. Have a great and a glorious day. I mean this sincerely from the bottom of my heart. It is such a pleasure to meet you. I hope you enjoyed our Pumageddon story. Isn't that horrible? Isn't that horrible? Just horrible. So, don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. We will talk to you later today. And until that time, my friend, until that time, as I always said, make sure you subscribe to Mrs. L. Make sure you subscribe to at Lynn's Warriors, to Lionel Legal, our sister channel, if you will, and to Lionel Nation. And until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.